up. Oh, where's my cursor? Is my DPI wrong by your mouse? I think it is. I'm not sure how much you guys have had issues if the DPI your mouse is just slightly off. You just get completely thrown off where your mouse is. So it becomes you have to search for your mouse rather than trying to just instinctively know where it's at. Not sure if that's just a me thing. Probably is. Looks like everything is booting on up. And if it activate live chat windows. I went ahead and found a game already. Snagged it as soon as I saw who is playing. Live chat windows now good. You want me to check my other computer? Open up my drink. And everything should be good to go. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Age of Empires or Age Mythology replay. Spawn on the right side as the blue Fuxi, we have Toxotes Great Again question mark. Spawn on the left side as the red Susano, we have Aces.Husksup, or how to pronounce his name. Chinese versus Japanese. When it comes to the major god, Fuxi is the focus of human soldiers and heroes. The Yin Yang Blessing, which provides switches between 10% gathering rate or plus 10% human soldier and siege weapon damage. No favored land, get faster research, and the building additions cost 25% less. Gaining access to Nazha in classical age, and he gets stronger per age. He's like the unique hero for him. For his unique god power, got the Peach Blossom Spring. Deploy out immediately to start generating resources as a deposit. Celestial Weapons gives heroes more divine, actually gives +1 divine damage. And increases, reduces the vulnerability of heroes to hack and pierce damage and reduces train time. Of course, Susano, who is the Japanese, which I'm switching to the wrong player on the sides of the map, is the Myth Unit God Powers God, which generates a large value per Bushido tiers. You get additional experience per Myth Units generate passively and through combat. And God Powers are 20% cheaper when you invoke a different one, and units you have 25% faster recharge. This one summons a cast down the sword, damage nearby enemy, and give them a bit of stun effect. Get a favor upon a tier, and of course give all myth units plus 10% speed and 1 divine damage. Which also does address the Kasune. Looks like blue is now aging up to Chiyo, and red is aging up to Inakari. Ikari provides 9-tail Kitsune, and of course provides a bit of gold raid. This is Fuxi, who's gone for Chiyu. Gives the lightning weapons, give a bit of stun chance for your units. Yazi is a teleporting dragon dog with a sword in its mouth. Key halberdiers give a snare effect and adds maximum range. Gives you a bit of pillage and some Yazi upgrades. And of course for red, he's gone for Inari Okami, which buys the swamplands to get the turtle men to drag opponents or enemy human soldiers down deep. Jorogue Gumo, a spider woman. 9-tail wisdom, Kitsune get additional line of sight and increase their aura stack by 1 and increase hit points by 75%. Sashimono Bannerman get increased cavalry hit points and give them bonus damage versus cavalry. And you get 50% damage dealt from myth units in return to as gold, but only as the initial damage, and not say lingering effects, say from the Spider Lady, Jogo. I can't pronounce her name. Jorogumo. Yazis do offer 16 damage, same attack speed, 16 damage. They're both 16 attack speed. 400 health versus 300 health, of course, 5.5 movement speed. This has a standard 4 movement speed. Exotic Doggo here. Teleports hit one of the villagers through the trees. The other one does hit the Kitsune. The Kitsune has gone down. Miko gets a bit of health regen. And we also got a Pioneer here. We can't deploy out sentry guns. We do now have some Naginata riders advancing with a Miko. Mikos are honestly not very good versus myth units. She has a pretty good multiplier, but slow attack speed, slow movement speed. If she somehow gets good hits onto myth units, something gone very wrong or very right. She has slower movement speed than most other units in game, foot soldiers included. She moves the same speed as villagers. She's basically a heroic villager. Local cow gets angry. Mad cow disease on the rise. We do have now the mastery of weaponry being researched, as well as some more halberdiers, counter cavalry units there. Which there's Naginata riders, so they are in fact cavalry. Fire archers, of course, anti-infantry, as well as a bit of anti-structure. Though times 6 is not that great versus structures, since they have already high pierce armor. Yeah, that means they only do 10% damage. So even with the... I had trouble clicking on them. With times 6, let's just round that up to... Let's see, 4 times 6 is 24, so 24 plus 2, 4 is 26.4. 90% less damage is, what, slightly more than 2 damage? Occasionally does 3 damage. Not great still. Not to mention, her range is pretty bad. They're really anti-infantry unit there. The extra fire damage multiplier is just not important at this moment in time, at least. Stable's gonna go on down now. There's a good number of these halberdiers, so there's pretty good age up there to counter the seems like heavy Naginata usage from the Japanese. We do have the watchtower here firing away. The swamp lands is an ability that probably does need to be nerfed. I think it's far too strong. There was a recent patch. I didn't see any real balance changes when I briefly read the notes. It was mostly affecting other game modes rather than multiplayer. So I think this ability is still very strong at the moment. From very strong to too strong. I think it would be properly nerfed if the radius was much smaller, say about this large. Right now, the best comparison to this ability would probably be spider traps, and it is far, far more powerful than spider traps. Those spider traps are supposed to be a bit more spammable, of course. Naginata riders push way forward, and over here. Does find the Kafuhu. I'm actually clicking on the there. Does bring the swamplands and the katana. I think it would be better to bring the swampland then katana to make this the swampland a bit more cheaper. Good number of the Naginata riders have gone down, but these military units are being grabbed. You can see they're being grabbed pretty. Looks like it was slowed down a little bit, not as fast as it was. So I think it was nerfed in the patch. So beforehand, I think this guy would have been picked off long ago. And it looks like it may have a cap on the number of units can grab now. So yeah, I think it did get nerfed. Kafus are quite durable. Also, they can get inside the sentry tower. How they get inside there, I'm not sure. Sort of like the old-fashioned howitzer if there's 5 elephants inside of a transport ship. My apologies, must have missed this. Blue's pushing pretty far forward of a pretty severe army. Bushido tier still tier 1. So no. Oh, we do have age up. We got the Rajin. Give access to Raju, Thunder's Presence, Den Drums, Hana Mask, and Heavenly Barrage. Looks like there's attacking structure at the moment, so I can probably briefly look at that. Thunderous Blast, Shockwaves, deal damage, expands in radius. Raju, two-tailed wolf of a sword, I believe, in his face. Reduce the cost of god powers, which is very nice for him. More infantry hit points and lifesteal, and ship upgrade. More of this various infrastructure is going to go on down up north. Concealment is a good way to stay alive, but it's very dangerous. Blues pushes way forward over here. Nope, he's just sort of stopping right there. More pioneers being summoned. Got Imperial Academy here. Going for the unique hero Nazha. Do now have some Onomushas to be employed on the field. There's a Thunderous Blast. I see some slight sun effects there. We do now have the lightning weapons deployed on the field as well for a bit of stuns. There's a lightning blast. Looks like one more pulse. Got a fair amount of damage on those forces there, weak them up. We got some human archers for the field. Katana has been summoned, splashes down, knocks around these forces, also making those other god powers cheaper. How do you think the first god power should be used to make the other god powers cheaper? Kafu's starting to build some more infrastructure. Got Red before, got the Raiju here. Spider Lady does go down, so does the Bushi, or Onomusha. Another Raiju, so it looks like pulling out a decent number of Raijus on the field. Takes out the unique hero. Of course, he is age 3, but he's not getting any age 3 research because 1, he doesn't have enough forces to warrant the cost, 2, he can get it for free given enough time. And these guys are providing a decent amount of experience. And we do got a number of these Javeliers, counter range units to help counter the cavalry units. These Yumi archers both classify as range and cavalry, so they get countered by both the halberdiers and the Javeliers. But Javelier is probably a little bit more reliable at this point in time. Raju's pushing forward, taking a bit of damage here, knocks around some forces.
Nani?
Oops. I really need to debind some of those structure buttons so I don't actually have to pull them up while in caster mode. Does scream at some villagers. Looks like they demanded head pats severely. They're actually decently paced. Bah, can't speak. Well, Susanoo's upgrade would increase our move speed quite nicely. 10% increased move speed, so it'll go from 6 to 6.6, so they're pretty agile. The Kitsune could improve these guys' move speed as well. He has the Minor God help support them with double stack there. Got a number of forces there. Got now the Tao Wu deployed on the field. More heroes being deployed on the field, so Sages. Or the other one. Another Katana got summoned there. Next Kappa's costs 43. Nothing too expensive, but still does not have enough for the moment. Plus the cavalry are starting being picked on off, and all these forces falling on back. And looks like some more of these Naginata riders sort of go on down. Got a castle now being employed in the field. Up north, more cows being obtained. Exotic cows. I don't know why that sound effect just seems a little bit dull. Taowu does get a pretty good charge attack there. It has actually good crush damage. It's a siege weapon, not really a melee force. So it's best to use to bash his head against that castle. Yumi Archer is fighting away as a front or backline DPS. Naginata has 6 damage to the number of halberdiers in the front line to cause issues for them. Looks like the villagers starting to stay in a fight, which is not exactly super great. He does have enough favor for swamp lands. Just got his favorite bonus, so he has enough for swamp lands now. He just got now the heavy upgrade. He should see the heavy units in front of him. Realize he got that favor bonus. He may be saving up for the Thunderous Burst, but I think that's just go for the Kapos. Got a number of Mikos here for the health regen. Yumi Archer's getting knocked around by the mirror image. More Yumi Archers being employed in the field, so Javeliers will still be a good counter unit. Yumi Archer is now trying to raid some villagers. Some of these villagers are very wounded. Now some of those villagers are triple kill. I saw 2 of them low health bar. I didn't realize 3 had a low health bar. More Yumi Archers being employed in the field. Do have some Javeliers and Halberdiers. Good units right now. And now we're starting to see some of the White Horse Cavalry being employed in the field, probably to counter the various cavalry units. Mounted archers are relatively slow. The Yumi Archers have the same movement speed as Chariot Archers. Got some Dao Swordsmen, general bulky frontline infantry in there. Not really needed this moment in time, but it's probably nice to mix in a couple just in case. Ballistics not being researched by Red, something I think he should have gone for a bit of time ago, but of course you never know how much resources you need to keep stockpiled up. But he is playing food and wood at the moment. We have a reserve of gold, so maybe on the age up. Not sure if a castle ever got completed if we met the age up requirements. Watchtower. Basic upgrades, nothing too significant. So I did see boiling oil. That is at least researched. We do not have the shaft mine being researched. Up here looks like these various units find some villagers. They're not exactly anti-villager tools, and we do got a Raiju here to eat some of these units. This force here is moving around pretty wounded. Maybe trying to get it healed up a little bit with a unit wouldn't be half bad. And the Raiju is getting nailed by everything, and does get a mirror image, which will last a little bit of time. Not too long though. Something got casted here. There's Swamplands. I think the katana was dropped on in. And this is a very powerful ability with a smaller, high-valued army units like the Horsemen. So it's gonna fall back there. Red is pretty much, or is out of favor at the moment. Cannot speak. He is going for another Raiju. How much favor does a Raiju cost? 3? No, that's population. 20, so that is a fair amount. Cavalry's starting to go on down. Still got this cavalry force here. Mostly Yumi Archers. Some of these Kafus are really wounded, starting to be picked on off. Very, very good. 3 of them go down. Red's starting to fall back there. And blue still being very aggressive, with forces not very good being aggressive. We do have a siege crossbow in the field, which has good crush damage. Damage seems a little bit weird to me. It seems just not even. Quite odd. Like 121. That's definitely an odd number. Quite a precise number for certain situations. New archers sort of just being left out to dry. Got Tiger Force Cavalry. They don't actually move too quickly, but it could be a bit of snare effect on that one. Yep, it's a snare effect. And they do have a good multiplier versus range. More than knocking out our riders. Take a bit of damage there. Still pretty far away from the next one. The new patch got rid of the description of provides a certain level of troops. Not sure why they removed that part. By the way, you can see the yellowish there. That's meant for the elite or champion. Then they have unique tier 5 for elite or legendary. I forget what it's called. Either way, got these forces. Take out the siege crossbow. Does not take out the siege crossbow. And we do have some more Naginata riders, more Yumi archers being pulled on the build queue. Castle taking more and more damage. So that's force of protection available for blue. Roger taking some damage there. Naginata Rider sort of getting snared there a little bit. Good number of ranges here from the gate, so the castle does go down. Yumi archers in general A moves, good idea. Naginata Rider's strength has a lot of ranges in front of him. But there's just simply not enough Naginata Riders. We do now have the doggo push away forward. Does get a mirror image there. And get himself stunned. Knocks down those forces into the Yumi archers. It's not a good or bad thing. He's out of Naginata Rider, so it's probably a bad thing. Raiju will be going down. Red just needs to group up a military force. He's just having trouble maintaining a military force at the moment. Villagers shanking this siege crossbow. And the rest of these villagers being gained some white horse cavalry, which is not that great of an idea. But sometimes you must have to do it. More Yumi archers in the build queue. Number of red villagers starting going down, retreating to the town center now. Blue doesn't have much siege weapons here, which is a bit of a problem for him. Yumi archers push the way forward. Does take a bit of damage. Javeliers do have ranges 17, which outranges the heavy horse archers. Some of these villagers aren't going down. Miko trying to get some healing done. Naginata Riders not being deployed in large enough numbers, likely. Some of those usually sort of phase through the town center. It looks like Red has resigned. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see, any of these names seem familiar. Whoops. Oh. Yep, does not deserve that name. Could try that one. I don't know why. Am I sort of stupid? I just think of when I see this picture, out of the corner of my eye, I just think the Gabe Newell picture with the yellow background, the Holy Gabe Newell thing. Am I just crazy? Let's do this one here. Greetings everyone, and Great here, another Age Mythology replay. So on bottom right side as the blue Chronos, we got Dharma, Kind of Chill. So on top left side as the red Tuskayomi, if I butchered that name well enough, we got Gibby. When it comes to the major and minor gods, Chronos is the siege and myth unit god, can time shift buildings forward for 50% cost. Palace costs 50% of their time shift price of time shift, others are for free. Buildings are constructed 25% faster when near mana. 2 free myth units rather than 1. Lost siege units and myth units return 20% of the resources of their cost. Of course, he does have the deconstruction god power and has temporal chaos. Increase the number of buildings to time shift by 2. And also reduces the time shift cost for palaces, mirrors, and sentry towers by 50%. You can go for either Prometheus or Leto. Leto is usually my favorite or preferred. Spider, I think, is a very unutilized god power. Automatons are always fun. Yeah, everybody knows that. Of course, you get all of the units additional Pierce Aura, which versus Japan, I've been seeing a lot of Japanese players tend to go for heavy into the Yumi archers, so this could be very nice. And Perception will just prove more favor generation. Prometheus, of course, provides the very powerful Valor god power. You get Prometheans, just a bit more staple for Chronos. Offspring, reduce hero promotion time, and your citizens are 20% faster. They shall do their part. Tsukiyomi is the focus on technology shinobi. Probably should slow down the game since they've already aged up, and it's probably Chronos with a Promethean rush. He is aging up to Inari Akami, which is more focused on, provides a cavalry. The Bannerman upgrade increases cavalry's health and gives them bonus damage versus cavalry. Ivory gives your myth units a bit of raid. 20% damage they deal, 50% damage they deal, initial damage, is granted to you as gold. Wisdom 9 gives double stacks to the Kisune's aura, allows us to stack them up to 2 rather than just to 1, and also increases their hit points by 75%. Looks like the deconstructs the temple, just being annoying. Which the new moon god power. This thing is a very good minor god. Instantly research a bunch of research that's available, and it's not uncommon to see that used on the temple to get those initial upgrades. And of course, you need the temple down to get the free unit, but also for the free kitsune, the kitsune, with Tsukiyomi's bonus of getting 1 free kitsune per age. We do have the Valor god power available. So, Atlanteans should be a little bit more resilient to the various Kitsune harassments. It's quite common. But of course, Naginata riders that usually accompany them are also very good for citizens. Then again, most cavalry are. You can see here, the fast exotic doggo. The APS is not great, but it's a cheap scout. 25 food is dirt cheap. And, well, more like table scraps, since he is a Kitsune or a fox, which is a form of canine, so exotic doggo. We'll probably beg for those table scraps to be summoned. And a favor is a mount. Tsukuyomi can deploy out 3 more of them at this moment. But right now is a pop cap. They also are 1 population, so they are a spammable unit. Are they a great harasser? No. No. Are they a harasser? Just be annoying? Yes. Looks like the giraffe has been eaten, gotten all the delicious neck meat from it. I wonder how giraffe meat tastes. Is neck meat a actual meat that you can eat from giraffes? Oh, we got the other spider lady, Jorogumo. Oh, use Valor there to get a heroic Marmello to stab her repeatedly. Looks like blue does save the butterfly, and now there's a new moon upgrade onto the watchtower, getting all those upgrades onto it immediately available. Which I'll click on it to reveal what upgrades he received. Marmello's taking a bit of damage there. So you got the applied upgrades. Has the watchtower has his unique upgrade, increasing their damage, and of course single fires. So quite nice, though a little bit expensive. What he got from it, and 100 favor is actually quite spammable, honestly. I do think this is like one of the best Age 1 god powers right now. And the longer you hold on to it, like many other of these Age 1 god powers, the better it is, because it'll give you more research. And you can put on a more valuable structure with more expensive research. Oh, we do have the Ivory Suki. That will give you a bit of gold for each time a myth unit deals damage to units, not to structures. I wonder if that can be used to on wildlife. That's something I should probably test. If you use it on wildlife, you can send your kitsunes to start your kitsune to start hunting animals for gold. And if people think fox furs are valuable, wait till what the fox fur brings back instead. Good number of these villagers going down. They were trying to use concealment, but they got revealed. And now they're going to be dead. We have a Bushi here. A nice ranged hero. Good range, good multiplier, good damage. Slow attack speed though. And I think he just ran that forward, which managed to save a good number of units there. Good number of Marmellos on the field. Marmellos have low range armor, good melee armor. Granted, I was going to say he could go for Shinobi, who has range damage as a melee attack. Another Kitsune goes down. But that's only H3 unit. And Tsukuyomi does improve Shinobi as well as Cavalry. So if his opponent goes with Master Marmellos, Shinobi could be a good option. But they're supposed to counter range, doesn't mean they can't be counter Berserk or Ulfsark in Marmello. Unless the Miko's sort of getting distracted, maybe a move would be useful. More of these commoners are being punched to death. These Mikos, they're not protector units. They're just heroic villagers. They have the same movement speed villagers, same durability as villagers. They're not a combat unit. They're just outright not. Over here, do have the Naginata Rise push way forward. It is improved by a single Kitsune aura. It does go to Valor power, which does re-heal a unit. Finds another wounded civilian or citizen. And all these units will start running away. No nine-tailed fox upgrade, so no increased health nor double stack aura. However, the... Oh wait, that in one research got cancelled, didn't it? Oh, where did I actually research the upgrade to... Gave your myth units gold refund. I thought I saw it queued up. I thought he had a research, but I don't see it on the applied upgrades part. And nor click on the unit there provides it. I wonder if Kitsune gets doesn't get benefited from it. I'm also going to move around, trying to find another opportunity to engage. There's some basic walls there which are not built, and he's going towards the giraffe there. We got an oracle to spot. And these villagers not exactly healthy, at least one of them's not very healthy. And a small little hit force of Mermellos is going to do some good work. There's a Coppos over here. That's definitely the wrong spot to deploy in the field. Needs him over here to protect those villagers. Got these units falling on back. And got these Prometheans bashing some of these units into the Bushis needs to stand engaged, picks those off. Well, he does have the medium upgrade, heavy upgrade so far away.
Yuji?
Red is not doing very well on villagers. Red is also trying to age up to Hachiman. More Prometheans, more citizens. Overall, it looks like blue is in excellent position economic-wise. Twice the amount of civilians on the field. Relatively equal military size. And 2 town centers. Got some copper upgrades on the way for Tsukuyomi. Which is probably not a good idea until he has an actual sizable army in the field, because after all, this improves all units damage by 10%. Which effectively means 5% more effective units. In order for this to make it pay for itself, 100, so he needs to get at least 200 value upgraded in return. Naginata Riders, for example, costs 105. Let's just run it down to 100 to make it easy. That means for every Naginata Riders, it's equal to 5 resources. In order to get 200 value back, you will need 40 Naginata Riders on the field to make it actually worth its while, as opposed to just outright booting another Naginata. So yep, just brief map like this. When it comes to, say, armor upgrades, it's a little bit different, but still follow the similar principle. It can help if you go for one upgrade, it may be able to resist a certain composition a little bit better, but not necessarily. Currently right now, Kronos is very far from aging up. Tsukuyomi need a bit more gold to age on up. We'll need 800, 500. Another Valor deployed in the field. Was that an army that got deconstructed? Or, yep, army being time shifted, not deconstructed. I'm not sure the real purpose of time shifting forward, but okay. Oh, it's because he's improved by the aura for faster booting and then just time shifting away to free up the space. That's what's going on. Very, very nice. Can you time shift farms away?
Lopos?
Naginata Riders push way forward. Now, it looks like some of these citizens are going to fall, dispersing to the various. Let's see, hit the town bell. The town bell has been unrung. There's a lot of farms. Blue's sort of turtling in pretty early, honestly. Maybe a little bit too early, though then again, most of the food in the map has been claimed, and he's been going for a much slower force. Yeah, turtling in is probably okay at this moment. Definitely needs to get some more walls going, though, if he's going to turtle. And he doesn't have any myth units to upgrade to age up into our giant turtles either. Hachiman has been researched, Hyperion's on the way. Tsukuyomi can now upgrade daimyos to Shogun, the summon-free samurai. Gaia Tengu, which is inferior to the regular 3's Mecha Tengu. Because it cannot transform into a giant jet, or not so giant jet. Hyperion's may age up, get access to satyrs. And there are a decent backline myth unit. I'm more of a fan of most range myth units. They're easy to keep alive, and they have pretty good damage, and just being a solid backline unit. More Mermellos, more Oracles with Hyperion. There's a Shogun. With Hyperion, you can research the Sons of Suns, turn all your oracles to her heroes for free. All future oracles are trained as heroes at no additional cost, things that sort. A very, very good upgrade to get favor. Which can complement with Lado, since Lado also provides a way to increase the favor generation even further. There's a Chaos God Power, very good God Power for Hyperion. Marmella's trick forward, Shogun may want to be careful. He summons the free Samurai per like 100 damage he deals, if I remember correctly. He did take a bit of damage there. I don't know if he can see any health regen, but this Hachiman does have an upgrade to give heroes health regen, so maybe he'll be affected by that. Not sure though. It's now starting to fall back there. Just since we got outclassed, the chaos there just caused chaos. And it looks like Tsukuyomi's power to age up again. He has almost enough resources. Getting a castle in the field is another matter. Castle trying to be built, but looks like will be going on down. Not enough fate of some of the god power to protect it. Goes down there. Couple Tengus on the field. Samurai being summoned in the front line. I do take a moment to actually get summoned, so it's not instantaneous. Looks like these units sort of got played around the rosy, which is not good. So Blue's Orbit Lords got picked off one at a time. That's not great. So since Daimyo is also a hero, him having so much extra bonus damage for his myth units really help with Samurai generation. But I think as well it does not get overflowed when it comes to hero generation. So if he goes above 100 damage, it will not stack.
Scopus?
So I got some Contineras here. Blue has gotten a little bit of bonus damage on his Naginata Riders. A citizen has done his part. Contineras has been valored. Blue's inside town center. And Blue has already queued up his Champion Cavalry, so it looks designed for a heavy cavalry based play. Some of these citizens started going down. They didn't even get inside the town. Some of those towns have 16 damage. There are more Contineras being pulled in the field. Naginata Riders have 13 damage, or DPS. Contineras has 12.2, 175 health. That's 190, 89. So those, and not to mention a slight bit of bonus damage in cavalry, so I think Naginata Riders are simply a better option when fighting against the Contineras. 2850 armor, 2445. Got copper upgrades. copper upgrades, and plus the Bannerman. Yeah, and the Bannerman also increases the health by 10% as well as get that bonus damage.
Yuji.
So yeah, it looks like the Naginata Rider is just slightly better than Contineris. Good to know. If your opponent has the upgraded Naginata Riders, don't go for Contineris. They're just simply gonna get outclassed. Contineris do cost 105, so the same as Naginata Riders, though they are heavier in gold. So yeah, Naginata Riders are simply just gonna do better. This sounds like it started going down. It does go down there. I don't know what was actually hitting it. Oh, there's a siege crossbow there. It's piercing shots but going straight to it. Since it was not high, it's sort of been missing. It sort of blends in there if you're not really paying close up attention. Yeah, Red should just continue building Naginata Riders at this point in time. They will simply just be a counter to they're just edge out versus these Contineris. And for backline archers, never hurt, just to get a little extra DPS without worrying about surface space. Citizens sort of going down. Blue needs to go for some counter cavalry units there if he wants to fight those Peltas. No, can't go Fanatics, that's an age 4 unit, and you want to get them early if you go for Rhea. Got some llamas. He went for llama, he's turtling in. That trade path is nowhere near long enough. What is that? Could at least try to clear out some of these forests and put it on top of there, but that trade path is horrible. Definitely should have tried to expand down here with it. It is not worth to go for this early. 9 gold per trip, not to mention it's the age 3 variants, so they're pretty slow. Which can be nice if you just go to try to eye it for age 4, get them built up while aging up, but right now, not worth it. I think Blue's making a lot of mistakes. Red is doing this game well enough. He is trying to gain some counter cavalry units there, some Yari Spearmen, which is excellent. He recognizes one's going for mono type composition. He probably hasn't had time to really focus on the fact that his cavalry is super superior to the Contineris. I don't think he's now the champion, they're clearly superior as well. Not seeing that his cavalry just are slightly better with the same base value. Not a huge problem, not missing that aspect. One of those things that you probably don't have time to sit down and look at it. But the fact he's going for the counter cavalry units when he sees his opponent going for cavalry composition is an excellent call. Blue does go ahead and resign. That's Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And I need to use the restroom, and this will take a moment. My apologies. apologies, I'm back. Let's see now. Actually, that's a decently ranking game with a decent length, so... Anything else? Nothing that stands out to me, so let's do it. Huh, did I see he actually selected random? Oh. Greetings everyone, and Great here from another Age Mythology replay. As well on the south side as the blue Susano, we got Greek God. As well on the north side as the red Ra, we have Rusty, Ampersand, Old. And I think as well, when I saw the loading screen, I saw a question mark. He may have actually selected Random God. So, that could be quite interesting. Either way, when it comes to these minor and major gods, Ra is a focus on mid-goal stronghold units and empowerment. Laborers gather from berry bushes 25% faster, which is very nice. Cavalry riders, chariot archers, and war elephants get additional 50% hit points, very nice. So, his spawn polish should eye for counter cavalry units. Your empowerment also empowers nearby buildings, 60% efficiency of the pharaohs, which is the same empowerment of priests. When it comes to his upgrade, he does provide skin of rhinos. His villagers become extra tough, additional armor, 25% less vulnerability. And of course, the rain gunpowder improve your farmings for a short amount of time. His first age up could be for Bast or for Fa. Bast provides the Eclipse gunpowder, improving myth units for a short amount of time. Sphinx, Zella Cat. Villagers gather faster from farms by 5%, but also natural resources by 10%, so very nice to have. This also makes your villagers gather wood 10% faster and basically chop them down, trees down really quick with Sphinx upgrades. Fought is, I would say, the more fun god power here, Shifting Sands, short range teleport. Wadjet, a completely junk myth unit, and I absolutely hate it. You get Scallop Axes, improve your axeman's damage by 50%, very simple and nice. Spearmen gain additional pierced armor, which makes them a bit more resilient to those Yumi archers and mounted on Yumi horse archers. Electron bolts make your slingers get a bit of divine damage and increase all their damage by 10%, very nice. And of course, we got the Shut Off, and makes your farms and cost less and build faster. So this does combo quite well with a fast rain god power as well. I say both minor gods are good. I would probably lean toward more Thoth. But of course, these upgrades don't go along with the mid-goal strongholds. When it comes to Susano, or however you pronounce his name, there he is. He is a focus on myth units and god powers. Tributes large favor with each Bushido tiers. Units generate favor passively through combat, invoking god powers to make the other god powers cheaper, and also the units have 25% faster recharge. Some Katana that does damage and knocks down units. You get, of course, favor upon per Bushido tier, and Crushing Waves increase myth units' movement speed by 10% and give them 1 divine damage. I should do the minor gods right here so you guys can see the background. Of course, get access to the Inari Akami. Swamplands is an excellent god power to instantly kill a decent amount of human soldiers. Joro Gumo, I don't really see her use all too often, so I'm not sure about her. Of course, you get a pretty nice Kasune upgrade, increasing their stack aura, and of course, increase their hit points by 75%. Myth units get additional gold when attacking, their initial damage, so not the poison damage. Cavalry get additional hit points and most dangerous cavalry, which should be pretty useful against mid-goal stronghold units. This also does apply to the horse archers as well. Or Mina Katatomi, I butchered that name well enough. Shrine of Hunt. I don't remember this one. Provides huntable deer and friendly wolves. You get this thing here. A flying demonic wheel that breathes fire at enemies. I have no idea. I don't... She has been basically the standard, what's it called? Minor god. But you do get some nice upgrades here. Villagers works 10% faster from huntables, combos quite well with Shrine of the Hunt. Hunter Strength increases the range damage of all soldiers, all human soldiers, as well as increase the maximum range by 1. And make your siege units cheaper and your ranged soldiers cheaper. So he has some pretty good minor god upgrades. Let's see, we've got Bast for the Sphinx. Selacast, he's not building villagers, so there's maybe a bit of a mistake there by red. Blue is age up to Inari Okami. So exotic cats versus exotic doggos. And looks like this Albus will torment him no longer. Blue has still failed to build more villagers. I wonder if this is a misclick or mistake. Going for the Creo Sphinx. Increasing their damage and crush damage and their hit points. Just straight up combat grade. Crush damage should be particularly useful, plus 50% crush damage. Miko could have stood and fought. She does have good multiplier, but she's not really a combat unit. You have now a Onomusha being employed in the field, and you also have the Heracross Sphinx. Increasing the speed by 10%, as well as increasing their crush and hack damage once again. But still no additional villagers. This has to be a pretty big oversight here. Good number of these Sphinx. In fact, he's going for economic upgrades, so it must be a big oversight not having infinite villager queue going. Blue has queued up multiple research, including the crushing wave for his myth units, and Wisdom 9 and Ivory Suke? I have no idea how the proper pronunciation. Good number of Creo Sphinx. Got one Unomusha here. Watchtower's research. Spearman's here, stabbing that villager. Spear do offer a decent amount of movement speed. Does also get inside the watchtower there. No villagers go down, but they're pretty battered, bruised, and beaten. Spearman and Sphinx trying to break down this stable. He wants this one to have less stability in his life. Good number of Spearman there, so it's probably a good idea not to go for any more Naginata Riders. Going for more, just more melee units or archers would be a good idea. Naginata Riders and Kitsune push their way forward. A slight empowerment here, increase attack speed. And Wilkin minimum range. We'll be trying to take out some of these individual villagers now. And does block the path and completely surround that lady. No production queue for red. So losing these villagers for red is critically bad. Going for crenellations, but he has only 14 villagers at the moment. Spearman trying to engage some of these units up here. These Naginata Riders and the now Nine-Tailed Kitsune is rotating around. The priest could smite the Kitsune. Got some Creo Cross Sphinx now push way forward. They have 5.8 movement speed, just slower than these guys here. The Nine-Tailed Kitsune with the Divine Wave is now moving a staggering 7.2. Zelak Doggo does go down. I wonder if Red's realized the lack of villager queue. Another Sphinx. It's one of those train wrecks you just see happening. As those bit of, oh, there we go, queued up the villager queues. Yep. So So we'll be at a 7 villager deficit. No, my math is wrong. 9 villager deficit, which is quite bad. But Red does have more force in the field, so he can be a bit more aggressive. He kills off villagers of his opponent's villagers, he'd be in a better position. He does have fully upgraded Sphinx.
Gary.
A number of these Spearmans here.
Into you.
Does have the medium Spearman upgrade.
And wedge.
Does get some good damage on these Naginata riders. We've also got some Samurai being employed in the field, which is a good counter infantry unit there. Does get plus 50% multiplier. And generate some experience. There's Swamplands there as well. Does get a nice knockback there. Perfect time. And Red does lose Sniffle's force. Still has a Heracross Sphinx, though. Red's now trying to expand. The extra town center may be really necessary due to the lack of villagers. You now have some Onomushas being employed in the field. These guys do move at 5.8, which is faster than Spearmen. Don't want to be near these ladies. They look pretty angry.
Into you.
Sphinx now push forward, trying to raise some villagers. That looks like a good spot. Of course, they can spin to win. Notice the spin to win does not affect goats. And we'll be hitting the Miko. The Miko is not really a combat unit. Does get picked off there. These guys need to start falling back. They took a fair amount of damage. They can always fall back to his priest, get healed and up. Taking more damage now. And the town center has been built, and the priest is empowering it. But I'm sure the empower does not affect villager queues. But I think it still improves drop-off, right? It improves other work rates. I can't remember what exactly does the town centers. Here across Sphinx can get some good damage done. Hits on the Samurai. They do less damage versus heroes, of course, but these Mikos are basically heroic villagers. Spearmen could just turn around and hold the line, but all these forces moving, running away pretty quickly. Town center is built, which can be a good hard point. These Onomusha only has 50% range armor. Letting a priest heal these units up wouldn't be half bad. Does get some of the counter there, improving this damage. 13 damage as opposed to 10. Of course, does not have a priest nearby to empower to increase attack speed. Villagers getting inside the town center now. A couple of villagers do go down there. Heracross Sphinx heading down south. Spearmen do get dispatched, as well as a villager or two. Has some axemen mixed on in, which would be very nice. These units are classified as infantry heroes, so they should be countered by axemen. Does use nice. He does get inside the towns at a time. Good reaction time. Red's Heracross Sphinx distracting the heroes. Take time to repair the town center. May not need all the villagers for that. Could just go for 1 or 2. Right now the villager count is evening out thanks to the second town center for Red. More axemans being employed in the field. And Blue's collecting up some of this gold. Let's see now. More Onomusha. Blue's really on the Onomusha, but cannot age up to a Hachimon to improve them. Susanoo gets the other two, which is Fuji and Rajin? I forget what's exactly called. Wait, I can just always look up right here. Fujin and Rajin. Do now the hair-crossed Sphinx push way forward. Hachiman is the minor god to support heroes for the Japanese, which has upgrades improve the damage by like 15% and health regen, things that sort. Can't remember exactly. It's like 2 or 3 upgrades for dedicated for heroes. Right now, these hair-crossed Sphinx falling back. We've got a good number of axemans here, a couple leftover spearmans. Of course, got some samurai here. They offer really good base damage, but of course, it's a charge attack there as well. Hair-crossed Sphinx trying to find these villagers and spin to win. Got one of the Unamush there. Does use the Eclipse there. Trying to kill off those villagers. Top was pulled out of here, so it looks like Red's infantry unit arms going down. Got a fair number of damage there on those villagers. Do these those charge attacks coming out a bit more often. Or anywhere, improves abilities. Oh, now it doesn't improve damage, improves the abilities of Myth units. So it sounds like it also improves their charge time. Never noticed that until now. Also improves favor generation from his landmark. So right now they're running out 1.11. Keep an eye on that until it subsides. Blue's now down to 34 villagers. Red has 46, so Red has more than recovered the villager count. And does go down to 0.08, so that is a fair amount of extra favor generation. It's not like you can get, it gives you a bit more of a rebate effect, honestly. Not necessarily it's a good way to generate favor, it's just a rebate. We got Sobek from research, which gives you access to Petsuchos, which can upgrade the pet Sobek. Thanks, Grant. We do also have now some medium samurai being queued on up. About to get the heavy infantry. Very, very close, since he has a good number of the dojo units, or whatever it's called. Is it dojo provides them? Or I suppose barracks, right? Yep, probably just dojo. I forget the name of the structures. Good number of axemen there. I wonder if he has the, no, he did not go fast, don't have the access to the axeman upgrade. Axemen charging way forward. Samurai course 4 population, axemen are only 2 population. 20 damage as opposed to 30 damage with basically twice the amount of health. But the thing is, while statistically the large number of axemen may be better, the fact that the samurai don't have to have as much surface area to strike a target means you can quick kill off units a bit more quicker.
In which?
That's a pretty good charge attack, 50 damage.
Into you.
Axemen now starting to engage. It can go either way, honestly. There's the samurai, and looks like Red was largely losing the fight either way, so that katana was not needed, but does at least reduce the cost of other god powers. Sobek almost completed his almost research, which give access to laser crocs. Axeman push way forward. He's probably needs to get out. Honestly, Chariot Archers would probably be a good idea, as well as maybe getting the heavy axeman. That could be his composition. There are some Naginata riders there, and Spearmen and Chariot Archers do have the same movement speed, so maybe Spearmen Chariot Archer would be a good composition for him. You can bring in Plague of Locusts, which are actually decent versus villagers. The bugs have been summoned. The only good bug is a dead bug. Get some damage to those villagers. Fair amount of it. Coppus there caused some issues. Got some axemen there slowly being pulled under. The blue has a sizable army here. Red does not have much of army. Going for Chariot Archers now. And explosives, queue them on up. And garrison them on in. There's a rock there. A rock could be brought over here. Dismount, exfiltrate the units there, and then pick up those units and fly away with them. So you could actually save the Chariot Archer and Camel Rider inside of the mid-gold stronghold. Red has gone from another town site over here, and the various national pauses here as well. Very nice. And now got the mid-gold stronghold going on down. So I got a castle going up for blue up here. Oh, that's a market, not a castle. I thought it was a castle. Sun-dried bricks. It looks like this gold deposit's oversaturated. Red is really trying to collect the gold. Maybe trying to transition to farms and try to get enough of that going. He also just needs to focus on a bit of defense. Laser Cracks can be quite nice. Upgrade the Pest chose to his pet Sobek. More Samurai, more Naginata Riders. Has a sizable army in the field, 132, 42 villagers. That's a very sizable army. Blue just at this point in time, you should probably just try to steamroll forward. Rain God Power has been summoned. He needs the food generation, that's for sure. Looks like a good number of those villagers have been called now, down to 36 versus 86. Yeah, Blue needs to fix his economy situation right now. He is also still 82, but at least he has access to heavy upgrades, but still, 35 villager is not ideal. Looks like I got another pet Jost being employed in the field. As well as some more Chariot Archers. We have 19 range, which is pretty nice. We may see engagement here. We got heavy axemen. The Camel Riders. Probably best minimize the Camel Riders deployment. Doesn't really need them at the moment. Spins to win. Let's see, Petstros or Sobek, it provides sun-dried bricks, increases Camel Riders' hit points and give them health regen. It's honestly not super strong god power on minor god for him, unless he wants really heavy in Camel Riders. But right now, I think the other option may actually be a little bit better. Because right now, Bone Bow for a +2 range on his Chariot Archers, get to 21, would be very nice. Naginata Riders being engaged. No Pet Sobek upgrade just yet. You have an agent now, Raijin.
Into you, Gary.
Well, the Camel Riders, if this one goes for more of a heavy cavalry composition, the Camel Riders will be very nice for that.
In which?
But seeing how Chariot Archers and Spearmen have the same movement speed, I think they're a good mixed composition right now. And Spearmen at least a bit more generalist. Mid-gold stronghold will be going on down. There's 5 villages inside of it. And Blue's trying to get a secondary town center. Red has 3 at the moment. Only 2 villager queues at the moment. He's actually maxed out villagers either way. And blue or red is now agent to Osiris. Which will give you one of the most fun god powers, the Son of Osiris. Crocodiles are zapping these units there.
Into you.
Crocodiles do learn how to flip. Florida man would be proud of them. Camel riders are straightforward. There's no heavy camel riders just yet, so they're just medium camel riders. More camel caravans. There's the god power there, the thunder burst. Does get splashed there a little bit there. And he will escape on out of there.
Into you.
Rest of these forces trying to engage. Shade archers being pursued. Can be a move over here. Another round of locust summoned somewhere. Over there, gets good hits. Townsend needs to be garrisoned. You have now the Pharaoh attacking away as well.
Into you.
All these forces just need a move over here. Probably keep the Pestrosos in separate formation. Got some Shinobi, which are anti-range. They're like Huskarls, but a bit more extreme. Yep, more Shinobi being summoned now. Their durability is not great though, and they are 4 population. Here comes another katana there, knocks down those forces. Camel caravans are going down. Those camel riders. Osiris is almost complete. I do not know where the Pharaoh is at the moment. Pharaoh's inside, slightly wounded. He's forced to get a wounded son of Osiris. Actually, no, it looks like he does now restore him at full health. But Mika gets slashed a little bit there by Champion Samurai. Took a lot of free damage there. These units now push way forward. A fair amount of units are here. Managed to get the champion upgrades. And still be H3. It's going to be an H3 for a bit of time. Shinobi have good crush damage.
Good.
Got a mummy here. The Son of Osiris heading down south. More of these camel caravans gets intercepted and will be picked off. Those trying to back on off. Got a mid-gold stronghold here. Axeman pushed forward, giving the archer gain some damage. There may be a free minion there. Not sure that ability actually connected. He does bring in another burst there. Had a bit of favor stored up. Still 75 favor left. Bring another katana there to start reduce the cost of the other god powers. Son of Osiris in a good position. Safe enough position to start firing away. And Samurai, we're trying to go straight for the Son of Osiris there, looks like. We got Shinobi here, counter range units.
In wedge.
Rock flapping around, very little health. We got red villagers here. Siege tower destroys, I think, this town center. May want to go for some military units aside, at least queue them up and get them inside the garrison, inside the structure. We have some more Yumi archers being employed in the field, which the chariot archers and Yumi archers, I think they're largely going to be equal. Though chariot archers do have more range. Slow attack speed, I think they hit harder though. Never looked at them side by side just yet. Let's see, there's a Yumi Archer, 14 damage, of course this is champion variant. 15 range as opposed to 16 damage, 19 range. So they play half, even though they are a higher level, they probably do have higher base damage but lower range. Range is pretty nice. They have the same movement speed though. 117 health versus 128. So it looks like the chariot archers do have more health even with the raw upgrade. Settlement now being built. And now I do have the AFF crown, improving mummy's hit point by 20%, increase their and give them plus 40% damage, and increase the mummy minion lifespan by 100%. So maybe going for a good number of vizier mummies. Camel trade caravans being reestablished, 60 gold per trip, that's pretty good. We also got some deer caravans. Which this is not a really good market for. They probably just want to build it down south to go up north. Same over here. Maybe clear out this infrastructure. Do now the dark waters being researched there. Right now, the amount of cavalry blues going forward, it'll be a good idea to go for more like camel riders. And now we do actually finally have the Bannerman upgrade, which increases the hit points of cavalry by 10% and give them plus 20% bonus damage versus cavalry, which is still going to be inferior to the 100% multiplier versus cavalry there. Sunrise firing away, got a good number of money being viziers. Daimyo trying to get some money viziers, but they will get picked off. Looks like Red's being largely cleaned on up. There's going to be a number of mummy viziers, and the Son of Osiris is doing great work. The mummies are advancing, focus on the Son of Osiris there with the Uni archers. He may throw away this entire army to take out the Son of Osiris. There's so many minions on the field. And since he has mummy viziers, they have a lot longer lifespan. So we just got a sizable minion force. 13 minions. 15 minions. That's quite a bit. And they have a lifespan to make them actually usable for some upcoming conflicts, such as taking on the town center itself. Though the Son of Osiris did take a beating. We got some more battery or siege types being thrown on the field. Could be over here potentially. Son of Osiris is trying to help these units. I'll say at least send the minions forward. They are disposable. In fact, they are soon to be. There we go. Minions! And they're going to be slicing down the town center. They have 12 damage, somewhat higher attack speed. So they're getting a fair amount of damage on this town center. In fact, yeah, like I said, they're going to be very useful right now. It starts the reinforcements, gets zapped, a minion should some be spawned there. Another minion there. Yeah, those, got picked off by just the damage over time. Minions still have plenty of time duration left there, so they were taking out the towns with no problem. Does lose the Son of Osiris there. And Blue does resign, as Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Minions! Those mummy viziers probably won him the game. Probably have time for one last game for tonight. My son's a little bit upset. Not players, this button. Let's see, any of these names seem familiar. Nut Clan's pretty reliable. Yep, let's do that one. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology replay. So on the top right side is the red Tsukuyomi. We got DoD Golden Royale. Spawn south side is the Cyan Oranos. We got Arrow. I wonder if you have arrows. Either way, when it comes to major and minor gods, we got Oranos, the vision and mobility god. Citizens can build new sky patches per age. Units can enter sky patches and instantly teleport between the two. All units have plus 4 line of sight. Very nice. Oracles generate 25% more favor when full line of sight. Damage units remain visible for 25 seconds. So, good vision stuff. Of course, got the excellent God Power Shockwave to disrupt enemy formation, Sky Passages, and Empyrean Speed. Infantry just get plus 10% movement speed, which combined with the Whitelist Mace upgrade can give you absurdly fast Catapultus. Either way, when it comes to his minor gods, look up this screen since you can see stuff in the background. We got Oceanus, provides access to the Carnivora, the Servant, Caladria, Whitelist Mace, improving the counter cavalry unit speed and damage, and which does double stack the hero variant, which gets them up to like something like absurd speed. I can't remember. It's like in 6 range, right? Can't remember. By the Shark can increase gives Marmellos and Fanatics 5% damage and pathetic amount of bleed damage. Not really that great, and reduce cost for promotions. Or Prometheus, give Valor, Promethean, the Promethean Offspring upgrade, the faster promotion, and make your citizens excellent. They shall do their part. Tsukuyomi, of course, is the major god. Technology Shinobi and Cavalry increases Shinobi and Cavalry damage per Bushido tier up to 20% if I remember correctly. Advanced Next Age is 25% faster, and a free Kitsune spawns at the temple at each age as well. His unique god powers, age 1 god powers, one of the strongest in the game, in my opinion. Research all the technology there that's available for free and instantly. And of course you get a nice little bit of extra damage on your towers and fortresses with a little line of sight. When it comes to the minor gods, Inaria Okami is usually the default choice, it seems like, for right now the Japanese. You get the Swamplands God Power, which is an excellent God Power, very powerful. I think it needs to be toned down a little bit. The Jorogumo, which I really don't see her deploy all too often, so I'm not so sure about her. Wisdom 9 gives it greatly improved the effects of your Kitsune, gives them increase the aura bonus and plus 75% health. Making myth units give you a bit of gold, 50% damage for damage they dealt on their initial strikes. And make your cavalry have 10% hit points and make them a bit more effective versus other cavalry units. Versus Ame no Uzame, which of course gives you replace some of your myth units, barring the Kitsune. A Whirlwind Weasel, they're not very fast, as you would imagine Weasel, but I think they're a decent frontline damage dealer. Infantry units get 10% hit points and Bushido experience upon death. And of course you get better Mikos, which gather work for shrines, so 10% more favor generation. And of course plus the 2 range for their... what's it called? Favor collection, which can be quite nice, but either way, we do have Inari Okami being researched versus Prometheus. Prometheus, of course, will bring us up some Promethean. Only if we have Bob to support him out, or so Prometheus can educate Bob. I wonder if anybody's seen those claymation shorts. They're stupid. There's the Kitsune. Let's see. The new moon has not been deployed out just yet. Could hold off onto it. A lot of good targets for it. You can get upgrade your Kitsune immediately. And Kitsune they're not strong, but they are cheap. 25 food is basically exotic doggo begging the table for scraps. And then you give it instead as offerings. Another Valor God Power, prod on some citizens to do their part. I actually replayed a bit of the... what's it called? Starship Trooper Terran Command. Fun single-player RTS. Oh, looks like some of the relics are the exotic kitty cats, the golden lions. They're not great, but they're free.
Bureg.
Oracle's not heroic. The goats... that's a fair number of goats. Red could actually steal these goats. Red does not steal the goats. Goats, of course, the goat. We got another Kitsune here. Jorogumo, I think, should be a bit more defensive. It seems like since the Kitsune are quick and tend to be accompanied of Naginata riders, it's probably a good idea just to keep her on defense and protect, say, your gold deposit, things of the sort. Marmelos takes that one to Kitsune. Naginata Riders going to have a bit of trouble versus the heroic Marmelos. More valor. He wants his heroic citizens. And looks like Red's back on up. Blue is looking a little bit outnumbered. Goes for some Turmas. I think people over rely on this unit. It's a counter range unit. He's fighting against not ranged units. Do now have the Empyrean speed, which greatly improves the infantry movement speed.
Burek. Skopos.
Does get some hits there. He's on to get out some more of the Copper Peltus. Shockwave there. I don't know if that was worth it. Does split up the formation, and Red did a good job of splitting the formation. We do now have the Theft of Fire to make your citizens, heroic citizens, 20% more effective. Looks like she does go ahead and snare the Oracle and then sends her away and kills him off. So she's a great way to instantly kill those Oracles.
Yuji.
Turmo's not pushing their way forward. Like most mounted range units, they're pretty slow at 5 range. No heroic citizen to do their part.
Burek. Skopos.
Blue sending infantry units there. Got a good number of counter cavalry units. Does bring the swamplands, so some of these guys maybe grab. Does grab some of the Turmas. And Blue's force here will be cleaned on up. None of these Naginata Riders were quite wounded, but looks like they will be picked off. I don't think that God of Power was worth it there. What did I hear? Oh, looks like the Golden Lions are eating some of the villagers. Got what, 2 villagers there? Very nice. Cyber now has 32 civilians on field versus Red's 25. Sky Passage and Manor there. Oracles in the back line. We got actually a good number of Oracles in the field. Looks like I count 4. Which is more than the default 3.
Burek.
Right now, Oranos is having 20 favor per minute. Not too bad. Tsukuyomi right now is having 5 per minute, 4 per minute. Not great.
Skopos.
Promethean taking a bit of damage there. It looks like Fred is starting to build another town center.
Yuji.
Promethean and Momelo push it forward. Looks like the Joro Gumo is starting to get picked off by the Marmelo, heroic Marmelo. Does get saved there. Got more Peltis. Taking out the Naginata Rider. Looks like the town center firing away. Villagers backing off to the town center. Does save them.
Burek.
More Naginata Riders being blown in the field. But also got some Samurai to counter the infantry unit. Very nice. While Tsukuyomi is focused around cavalry as well as Shinobi. Shinobi are more of an anti-range unit. But Samurai will at least provide a little bit of Bushido experience. He sort of does need the medium upgrade sooner rather than later, so uploading a handful of them would help out that as well.
Skopos.
A number of units here. Red's trying to build another water mill there to grind these caribou into a thin red paste. Looks like Cyan's going to do that as well. Does bring another Valor Power, this time on a Marmello. Big round of reinforcements there. Doesn't really need them heroic fight, but does improve their damage and other capabilities by a small amount.
Bure.
Try and get as much quality as possible, but red just simply has numbers. There's another shockwave there. How shocking. And the one Mythology here is still actually alive, but she won't be able to do much against all these heroes. But thanks to all the cavalry, now medium cavalry, able to repel this assault because they weren't properly a counterforce to them. Chariot Ballista being summoned to help counter the samurai, as well as more Marmellos being a general front line, which Shinobi can be useful against the Marmellos. Marmellos have low range armor, and Shinobi does range damage in melee, so they will get a bit of bonus damage into that aspect as well. Not to mention counter the Termas hard, the Chariot Ballista hard, and the couple cultists, they actually are pretty low in range armor as well, so I think Shinobi wouldn't be a good call by red. Samurai's not a bad call either. Shinobi are pretty squishy. Does use Valor there to recover its health. Samurai could turn around and engage that heroic Marmello. Hermos started stepping away. Miko gains some health regen onto some of these villagers. Red's pushing forward, trying to find some of those units. There's a small number of medals there. New Moon has not been researched just yet. I've seen times people put them onto watermills, since watermills both acts as food and wood drop off, which means you get those upgrades. Will he keeping his New Moon maybe for next age? Not sure. Oh, Shockwave summoned. May have knocked around some samurai there. Got some Chariot Ballista now pulled on the field. Naginata Riders falling back. Do not have Hyperion queued on up. We do have 2 villager queues for red. Sign does also have 2 villager queues. Some of these villagers starting to get hit there. And there's age up for Oranos. And there's a Chaos God power. Termos can't really move forward and engage, but they will use it to opportunity to escape. Don't think that was really worth it, though. These Turmas, they're unupgraded Turmas. I don't think it was worth it using the Chaos God power on that. Bannerman's now being researched, which is a very good idea to help counter out some cavalry units, but his opponent's still good in these number of Turmas. But still, Turmas are anti-range, they're really not good at anything else. His opponent's not deploying out any range, so... Though the Bannerman upgrade does increase health of his cavalry as well by 10%, which is still very important. He just got the heavy upgrade, so now he has H3 units versus H3 units, which is good enough for now. Not to mention his cavalry gets additional firepower. Right now they're at the plus 12%. And looks like the Naginata Rider is going straight for the Cherry Ballista, which all classifies range and siege. Does go and pick off Sion's army there quite nicely. Who's going to be, or Sion needs to start regrouping his forces. Good number of samurai there, so Cherry Ballista will still be good. Naginata Riders are still there in some numbers. Contineras could be a good option, but the Naginata Riders with the Bannerman upgrade are simply superior to the Contineras. And Contineras, I was going to say, does not get countered by Samurai, but it's still pretty beefy. Argus Archers would be definitely a good option versus the Samurai. Just good generalist unit there.
Skopos.
Offering pretty good range. He's going for a number of archers, going for medium infantry and medium range, and looks like bronze weapons.
Yuji. Skopos.
Argus now raiding some villagers. Not exactly a raiding tool, but looks like they're doing decently well. Hachiman now being researched. Heavy infantry queued on up. Heavy range being researched. And Chaos is off cooldown. Just need a slight more favor, and I just say that he is now going for multiple upgrade, including heroic renewal, as well as the Sons of Suns. Make your oracles all heroic. The heroic part of the oracles is just free and instant, which is very nice to have, which will help improve favor generation. Sion has max out villagers, red does not. Oh, down south. Right now it seems like Fanatics would be a good call for Oranos, but that is an H4 unit. You need to get a Rhea to get that in H3, which is pretty nice for Gaia, who also gets their all of her economic research in H3, giving her a lot less reasons to actually go H4 in general. We've got heroic destroyers there, valiant but being home wreckers. Oranos is far from aging up, has too much ward stored up, and we've got the Shogun summoned somewhere. Every 100 damage the Shogun does, it will summon one free samurai.
Yuji.
Good number of Argus archers. There is a pretty good amount of cavalry there, so a couple Paltas will be a great option to help stop them. Looks like more heroic oracles being summoned, but right now he's at pop cap. Oh, there's a research there on the armory, getting his bronze upgrades going, and the golden kite. Destroyers, heroic destroyers engaging the town center. I am curious if the destroyers actually make it to the town center. He's repairing the town center now. Destroyers are taking a beating. Destroyers actually do get the town center. Very nice. I am curious about the, let's see, Golden Kite. That's not the one for health regen. I wonder if the health regen upgrade that is provided by Hachiman affects the Shogun. If it does, that would be great. Just pull back the Shogun in between fights and heal it up. I'm assuming Mikos can't heal it up like the son of Osiris. It can't be healed up by priests or pharaohs. Red has a sizable army there. Blue or Cyan has a sizable army here. More samurai, more Naginata riders queued on up. Trader plus the getting overran. Chaos God powered right over there. How the Chaos God power be used over here. The Shogun's ticket there, bit of damage there. Palpatine trying to gauge these Naginata riders. And the Shogun does lose its cavalry typing, if I remember correctly. So it doesn't receive bonus damage from cavalry, or anti-cavalry. Does get picked off there, Shogun's down. Naginata riders on the flank, trying to take out these Argus archers. Tengu does jump his way forward. Fortified towns that has been researched. Contineras trying to focus down some of these villagers, medium Contineras. And Red will clean up those Cyan units. Cyan does have max up villagers. Red has at 54. Cyan has a production queue going, but may need to get some more production structures going. And Cyan's actually not a pop cap, and actually has a pretty small army. He needs more production structures, that's for sure. Cyan's also trying to build his towns over there. Red's trying to go for a castle. Sky Passage. Load up a bunch of civilians to do their part. Does cancel the structure and go chase those villagers through the ends of the earth, which is located right there. Take that, Globetards. Let's take out some of these commoners. Got a palace up here. So that will, oh, got a big heroic wave there. I don't think that was a good idea, especially the Argus Archers. The Argus Archers won't be particularly useful right here. Over here, we've got some of these units being intercepted and cleaned on up. We're also seeing some shinobi being deployed on the field. Cyan's trying to go for a town center here as well. You're probably better off finding all of his unheroic citizens, start just heroicifying them, rather than trying to heroicify some of those Argus archers. Shinobi torching down some of these fortifications. So looks like bowling oil has not been researched. Oh, here looks like these destroyers have found the fortified town center, but this time it's fortified. Has a bit more armor and health to work with. Precisely increase the hit points. actually doesn't increase any armor. That's just the masonry upgrades and all that sort, and court architects. So if Red has any issues with destroyers destroying his buildings, get the what's it called? Black Mason's upgrade improves. Actually, no, that doesn't improve armor either. What upgrade improves the armor again for structures? I'm just going crazy. Maybe they don't get upgrades like that. Destroyers trying to destroy this town center. Sign has a pretty good production queue now going, able to be aggressive, particularly the fact that he is now maxed on civilians. These citizens need to hide away in the palace. Right, some armed units over here, but Sign just simply being overwhelmed by numbers. He does also have the Bushido tier 4 now. So now he has a age up advantage while aging up. Argus Archer is using good long range damage right now. And Red has enough favor for another one of his god powers. All of them seem pretty good to me at the moment. I actually think the Shogun's probably the least useful. I think the New Moon, save it from next age up and then get some really good stuff. And it looks like Oranos is aging up to a Helios, which gives you access to the Centimanus, also the Hecate Gigantus, Mirror Towers, Hail Sun, Petrification, and Taitomaki. A number of samurais here, pretty wounded. Shinobi's pushing me forward. Gonna make short board of the Sky Passage. More Shinobi being summoned. All cavalry and Shinobi get plus 16% increased damage. Shinobi taking out that town center. Citizens trying to repair it up. Shinobi have crush damage attack. And that town center does go down. More Argus Archers being put in field, so Shinobi will be a good option against them. And it looks like they're stabbing these villagers, and they do get a bit of attack damage and movement speed buff thanks to their charge attack and jutsu. They do have good range armor. Of course, they technically are countered by these. What's it called? They are classes of interest, so they are technically countered by Argus Archers, but their range armor should help counteract that. To a certain extent, at least. Not gonna lie, Ryder's gonna rip apart these heavy Argus. And do now the age up for Oranos. Kusukoyomi will need a bit more food before he can age it up. He probably has a castle in the field for the requirements at least. I thought I saw one built earlier. Maybe I'm mistaken, so we may still need to rebuild that. Ooh, I forgot about Helios' god power. That is excellent god power. Ambushes the villagers, who gets knocked around a little bit. He has sort of recovered his villager numbers compared to his opponent. Oh, thanks to the terrain deformation, they do a long-range attack there. Takes out a fair number of villagers. Hides in the town center. Another Shogun summon. Champion Argus Archer is now researched. Halo of the Sun improves the fire siphon damage. and heavy Argus archers get +1 range and line of sight, and also increase their damage by 10%. And further gets increased with their heroic 5 by another, just doubling the effects of it. We do now have the Okinu Mushi, which I believe this is a really good minor god for Nari Tsukuyomi, but it could be quite nice for Amaterasu as well. Because if you combine this with New Moon onto a castle, you'll get draft horses and the mechanical artisans. Your siege crossbows, which pierce everything in the line, such as these tight formations, will effectively get plus 100% damage and like plus 6 range, increasing the range from 24 to 30, and their not crush damage, but their pierce damage to be like 50. He's pretty powerful for if you want to go with mass siege weapons. Daimyo taking on the Heka Gigantus, so he will get some free samurai, start slicing it apart. Combat teleport there and brings reinforcements. Pretty good vortex there, I think. But he's still lacking anti-cavalry tools. Daimyo's slowly being picked on off. And Red does resign. This is Angry saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay for tonight. So everyone, thank you for watching, have a good evening.